Hello and welcome back to another 5 years later on my channel. Ignore the hair, it's swooping, it's doing weird things, but we're going to talk about Camp Nano. Now, I do realize that by the time you see this, we're 7 days into Camp, oh my god, really? Oof. We're 7 days into Camp Nano, and I've yet written a word. But that's okay. I'm going to talk about several different things we're going to be covering during Camp Nano, where you guys can find the vlogs, and anything of such. So I'm working on 2 different projects for camp, one more serious, one more on the side, and let's talk about the more serious project. And then, of course, is what you guys guessed, Broken Boys Draft 2, since obviously I've not finished yet. It's been a huge-ass struggle, and a big part of that is, like, I just need to finish the outline. That's a big thing we're going to do tomorrow, is to finish the outline and to start writing again. I also come down to the realization is I really want this story in present tense instead of past tense. It's been such a huge struggle for me as I've been writing it, if you guys have been following the journey. And so the first 4 chapters are written in past tense, and now we're moving over into present tense. I just think it flows better, and is a new adult romance, and I just think it looks better, so we're going to be writing in present tense. I think it just works better for this story. But with Broken Boys, we're working on draft 2. We're going to do the re-outlining stuff, and yeah. I do want to mention for Broken Boys, you're not going to have any main camp video vlogs and such. I am planning on starting this whole live stream thing, which I'm not going to announce today, just in case it ends up falling through, but I do have a plan for live streams during camp, which, if I start doing them, you'll understand, and then we'll make it a thing. I don't want to promise anything, basically. Which would require this. So basically the goal for camp is to write 2,000 words a day with 2 10K days in the month. So starting, I guess, the 7th. They just kept going. The days just kept going away from me. But in that way, it's still a bunch of words by the end of the month. 7 minus 31 is something. I don't know. 31 minus 7 times 2. So it's about 48,000 to 50,000 words for the second draft, plus the 10,000 words, and so we would be finishing the big chunk of the second draft this month, the first half, this portion of it, and then I would just have the second portion to write, and hopefully that will be much more in a fasting draft, and I can do it in the first 2 weeks of August, would be the plan. So that's Broken Boys. Timeline's a little different than what it was, because I didn't finish it in June, and I never really held myself to it, and I didn't have anybody to hold myself to it. Whole 9 yards. We still have a writing vlog going on, talking about it. That video is probably going to be super long. It's going over several months. But either way, we have Broken Boys Draft 2. And, yeah. But that also being said, I have another story I want to talk about, and that is Church of Samuel. So I've been having a rough time figuring out what my second project is. As you guys have known, in some of the updates I've done in the past, you guys have learned that I definitely need a second project. This project, at the moment, for Broken Boys, is simply just revision work. I have to get to the 60 to 65,000 words, probably more than that now, before I even jump into new content that I'm writing, like fresh from the mind type of thing. Most of it's copy and paste and just trying to figure things out. And so I needed something new, something kind of fresh, something I can dive into and have a good time with that's just going to be super fun. I wrote a book last year from February, well, it's actually more March to August. It's 1 year anniversary of being done. It's coming up. And that book is called Church of Samuel. This is the mock-up cover, which is going to be changing because I'm making a official, I guess. Oh my god, what was my face? An official cover, in a way, for camp, for the book that I'm going to be getting. I'm going to be, the big things for Church of Samuel is I have a few scenes I still need to write to finish off that first draft. There's a few chapters I need to add to finish off. Like, that whole thing needs to be done. And then also, I want a physical copy of Church of Samuel for the book too. Church of Samuel, I'm going to dive in a little more details about not so much the book itself, but also the series at hand. And yeah, the first book is a kind of weird story, is the best way to put it. And I did talk about very heavily. I may link a few videos down below of me talking about it, if I remember correctly. But also, with Church of Samuel, it's a series. It's a trilogy of books, and it's always been planned for 3 books in the series. And the first 2 books are like companion novels, so you don't have to read one or the other. It's more like you choosing what side of this war you're on. The first book is the birth of a creature. The second book is another birth of a different creature, and it's you choosing between that war of which side you are on. The problem here is if you read the second book, then you obviously know the twists for the first book, which I didn't even think about. I was just thinking about like by a standpoint. It doesn't matter. So the plan is, if I ever do publish these novels, in which it would be a self-published journey for me, I'm actually thinking of 2 different ways for the Church of Samuel. I'm thinking of having a flip book, so that's where one book's on one side and then the other book is on the other side, and then they flip and then they meet in the middle with the epilogue. That sounds really cool. And so it's one book, but it's like 2 books in one. Some people will hate that. I understand. The other option is if I ever do self-publish it, which would go down a much more expensive route and things, as I just don't think this is a story. I think it's a story somebody could pick up. I don't think my idea is something somebody could run with. Does that make sense for like a good, like, just traditional publishing way? But as to release 2 books at once on the same day, which just seems so crazy. Either way, because they're both 2 different stories. I don't know. It's not. It's more like I said, it's a companion. So when that sequel comes out, you're just like, that's not what I was expecting we were going into. Because it's not, because the third book is technically the sequel to these first 2 books. Either way. The plan is, for Camp Nano, is to finish off all the final touches, to do the complete, what is that called? Formatting, to order me a proof copy. I think I'm going to order it through Barnes & Noble, because I don't have this, like, bar on it. And I'm ordering one version for me, one version for my dad, so he can have a full copy to finish my audiobook. So we're going to get the audiobook experiment version number 2, reading the rest of the book as well, which was a Christmas present. That's a video on my channel if you guys want to go find it. It was from December. What else is there? Oh, and then also outlining and starting the second book, which is about a girl who miraculously gets pregnant even though she's a virgin. So, yeah, I'm sure you guys can figure out where that story's going. And it's a much different take on the whole premise that is the first book, which is why I think it's a hard sell, because of certain content warnings and stuff that's inside the book. The second book is much more a lighter look, a better look on that same exact thing. I'm very, very excited to write it. So that's the plans for Camp Nano. I know this video is relatively really late. Very sorry for that. But it's Broken Boys and Church of Samuel. I'm very, very excited. Are you guys excited? Let me know in the comments down below. And you guys can expect live streams and things, possibly one today. I don't really know. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a quick thumbs up. Don't forget to comment down below. Hit the subscribe button. I'll see you guys all next time for another beautiful, lovely video. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.